Tuko naye hapa nyuma yangu ndio nione kama nitawasaidia. Shika. Okay. Ni sawa? Umeniona? Unaona? KDK. Donc gari toni kando. Bata wacho ni gwelo kolor donge, gwelo kolor donge.
Yeah.
But if you book with me, you are safe.
Well, I think it's actually quite a finished thing. Like some people kind of say that we are hard to get to know. Yes, yeah, no need to keep.
Oh, is that the Rhino? Yeah, it's the Rhino. Apollo. No. Oh, it's gone. This is the new Rhino, right? That's a cute Rhino.
Rhino.
Little blanket on. I know. It's whatever the species. What do you think a baby hippos like? It's cute. Yeah. Remember his name? The new guy? Remember his name? Yeah. Yeah. And his ears are big. What happens now? Following his keeper. Yeah. It looks like laughing. He takes a dump. Too much. Come the mosquitoes. It's Friday, 11 o'clock now. See how bad it is. He's trying to eat his pants. Put some sand on it. And his eyes. Tell him why. Such an interesting article about dairy products.
Attention everybody. So I'd like to take this opportunity and welcome you all at the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. And Edwin is my name. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust is a project that was started officially back in the year 1977. After the death of David Sheldrick, who was a naturalist and the senior found warden of the Large Savannah National Park. He died in 1977. This project was started in his memory under the management of the widow, who is now the late Dr. Dame Daphne Sheldrick, who's been running the project since then, until about 5 years ago, when she passed on, leaving the mandate to her daughter, Angela Sheldrick, who was running the project together with the mother for about 17 years before the mother passed on. And right now, we are under the management of Angela Sheldrick, the daughter. We are taking care of orphan baby elephants and orphan baby rhinos, and later on, reintroducing them back into the world. And that is why all the babies you're going to see here today are orphans. All have been rescued from different parts of the country, and all are having different reasons for being orphans. Some of them, we know what has caused them to be left orphans, and that is why we rescued them. And others, we're really not very sure. But since the others were found when they were still at a very young age, at an age where they would not have survived without the mother's milk, and also without protection against other dangers, that is why we had to come in and help rescue them. A young elephant will need the mother's milk for the first 2 years minimum. And this means if they happen to lose the mother, so they're below 2, they will not survive. They can easily starve to death or can be attacked by the lions and the hyenas and be killed. And so that is the reason why we have to come in so that we can help rescue them and raise them here in the nursery for approximately 3 years. And any time between the age of 3 and 4, we will start to reintroduce all the elephants back into the wild. We necessarily don't take them where we found them, but will always reintroduce them to Tsavo East National Park and Kibwezi Forest. We do have 3 units in Tsavo. We do have our keepers of these units, and our keepers will lead the orphans out in the park every day, setting them free in a wild environment so that they can interact, communicate, play, and make friends with lots of other wild elephants of their choices. Some of those are the wild elephants that our orphans will be interacting with, and our ex-orphans that have already become wild. They do play a big role in welcoming in the new orphans and introducing them to the rest of the park. This will happen every day, where orphans will be set free in the park every morning and brought back at our units in Tsavo every evening. But after a long period of doing that, the relationship between the two becomes a strong bond and become wild. When they're still young, they spend the day out in the park. All the bushes behind me is part of Nairobi National Park. There's no fence between us and the park. And all our orphans will spend the rest of the day out in the park in the company of the handlers or the keepers. Our orphan rhinos will stay in the park every day and come back home every evening. But when they attain the age of between 4 or 5 years, they start to show signs of wanting to defend for her territory, and we will let her go. Black rhino, 1 year old, called Raha. Second rhino is called Maxwell, and that's why we rescued him. And when he came in, we had plans to fix his eyes before releasing him back into the world. And so did a surgery on one of his eyes, and this surgery never succeeded. Later on, with a different eye specialist and the use of the ultrasound machine, it was found to be genetic blindness. He does not have an optic nerve. That means he cannot be fixed with an operation, and so he cannot go back into the world. And he can't go back because black rhinos are very solitary and territorial. He will need to fight for his territory, but he can't see his opponents, so he's totally disadvantaged. The others will easily fight and kill him, and that's why we decided to stay with him for all his life. Approximately 35, 40 years is the lifespan of a black rhino. He's only 17 years at the moment. We've conditions. He knows where all the openings are. And from the fact that they're solitary in nature, he's comfortable being alone. We don't allow the public to get close to his stockade because a lot of noise makes him scared, nervous, and wild all the time, which is not good for him. So that is the main reason why we are not able to see him today. That is all about the rhinos. I will allow you some free time to enjoy, see the babies get the milk. I will talk about them one by one after the milk. But if you got any questions about the rhinos, you are free to ask. You just raise up your hand and shout your question one at a time, if there is any, please. Elephants time now. Reasons that have caused them to be left orphans, and that's how we can tell them apart. I will mention the names one by one, plus the approximated age. And I say approximated because we were really not there when they were born, and so we could not tell the exact age, but the number of things that we look at to give approximation. And since most of them came in when they're still very young, it is very easy to tell. And that is why the difference between the real age and approximated age is very minor. Maybe a month or two might be the difference, if there is any. I will start with the elephant on my left. Her name is Talek, and Talek is approximately 15-month-old. She was rescued from the Masai Mara along the Talek River. She was found in the company of a bull elephant who was taking good care of her. But Talek, being young, needed milk from the mother and was insisting on getting milk from this bull, but the bull does not have milk. To some extent, this bull was trying to kick her away, and she was screaming a lot. Some people on a game drive heard this, informed the management of the park, who made a follow-up to find her, and the mother could not be found. And that's why we were conducted to help rescue her. She's now a 15-month-old. Next after Talek is Latika, 2.5 years old, the big one walking around the waterhole. She's also well known as the elephant with the shortest trunk in the nursery. She just naturally has a very short trunk. She was rescued from Sava Conservation Area. She was found trapped in a snare all around her neck, and that's why we rescued her. A snare is a wire trap. Being around the neck will kill the animal instantly. As one struggles to get out of the snare, this snare becomes very tight and will suffocate them within a very short period. Behind Latika is Camille, also 2.5 years. And Camille was rescued from Sava Conservation Area as starvation victim due to drought. She was found collapsed on the ground, thin and weak and skinny, very much dehydrated and emaciated. She was looking like a skeleton when she came in. And I say this because she only had skin and bone left on her for having stayed for a long time without mother. Some of the babies will decide to walk away, look for food, look for help, look for company. In that process of walking away, some might be unlucky and end up encountering the big cats who might end up killing them. Some might be unlucky who end up just starving and dying out there. Very few are found, very less found in Meru. Identified all alone in the forest while at the age of about 3 months, which is not normal and also not safe. And that's why we rescued her. Walking at the edge of the waterhole is Muzinga, who is also about 2 years old, rescued from Savo East, found all alone on the road within Savo East, somehow financial ourselves in case of any attack. Not normal because female elephants are very protective of the young ones. They do have very strong maternal instinct. They don't leave the babies anyhowly. So finding a 4-month-old baby elephant all alone meant that most likely the mother was not alive, and that's why we had to come in and help rescue Mzinga. Walking along the line on my right is Shuja, who is about 2 years old, having been rescued from Savo East National Park, found stuck in a dry waterhole due to the drought, and that's why we rescued her. She was separated from her family by human beings, and so she's a victim of human-wildlife conflict. That is why when his milk, he didn't have a mother, and that's why we rescued him. Next after Toroha is Padamad, who is about 15 months, rescued from the Masai Mara. Found next the dead body of the mother who had died from a natural disease. His mother had a very big wound on the back, which is believed to have killed her, and this baby was found next to the dead body all alone, very thin and weak, and looking very skinny. That's why we rescued Padamad, right now about 15-month-old. Lastly, the biggest in size on my right is an elephant by the name Kirio. She's 2 years old. She also happens to be the little mini massage every day. And after a month or so, she started to improve and started to make some little steps. And since then till now, she's getting stronger every day. That makes a total of 10 elephants in the first group. Few minutes from now, all the 10 will walk away so that we can get another group of 11, slightly older than what you can see now.
Yeah.
Generally, different reasons, of course, all these babies to be left orphans, but human-wildlife conflict is the first major reason that is causing most of them to be left orphans. And human-wildlife conflict is a big problem in our country. It is a problem because there are costs, and is causing most of them to be left orphans and therefore brought here in the nursery. Ivory poaching is another reason. There are caused a few of them to be left orphans. And I say a few of them because for the last few years, the trend of poaching in Kenya has dropped, which is a good sign, which we hope, pray and believe that the drop continues until there will be no more poaching in the long run. But unfortunately, a few of them need to care and take care of animals. As human beings, we fail in our role because of them to be left orphans, and because we are interested in survival. The elephant life adds value to human life. It's that is why I wish to urge all of you are here today to help you can help stop poaching if you want. This is right from your home and right from your country. And I say this because the end products from ivory are being sold from all over the world. So right from your home, you can have a very, very near future will end up having lost all these animals. In addition to taking care of the baby elephants and rhinos, once identified, we are conducted, and a mobile veterinary unit will either fly or drive to the scene to go and help treat the injured animals and immediately set them free to continue their own natural life after treatment. We also have anti-poaching teams. These teams are mostly based in Savo. We'll go around the parks looking for snares and desnaring. The snares are the traps that are set in the park. Poaching teams will make sure that they put off all the snares from the parks. They'll also help drive away the people that are burning charcoal in the park to ensure that the park is kept free and safe for all wild animals. Our anti-poaching teams will work together with our K9 unit, whereby in case the signs of poachers identified, our sniffer dogs will assist and make sure that the poachers are caught in the long run. Our anti-poaching teams will work together with our aerial surveillance, whereby we do have the planes that will fly in the air, patrolling together peacefully, neighboring one another. The same community project will go around the schools that are neighboring the park and the reserve, giving education to the children. When the children are still young in school, they need to learn that all animals are important, and all animals have the right to life. And these animals should not be killed just because somebody is interested in the ivory, in the skin, or in the meat. And the areas where all animals stay should be protected, which means one elephant takes about 24 liters of milk in a day. Any other question? Well, if there are no more questions, we'll go ahead and mention the group. Yes. Why do we have only men as the keepers, the caretakers? Some years back, we've had females trying to do this, but they gave up by themselves. They found it tough. That is the excuse they gave. We only had one lady who stayed for 6 months. That was the longest period we've had a female keeper. I'll start with the elephant on my right. His name is Mageno. He's 2.5 years. Was rescued from Savo East National Park. He was found, identified all alone, thin and weak and skinny, without the rest of the family members, believed to be a starvation victim. Next, in front of Mageno is Choka, 2.5 years. Rescued from Savo Conservation Area. Found standing next to the dead body of the mother. The mother was starved to death and the baby left alone. That's why we rescued Choka. Taking water from the water trough next to me is Morijo, 2 years old. Rescued from Old Malo Conservancy, which is found in Laikipia, another starvation victim. Next, after Morijo is Mawingu, 2.5, almost 3 years. Rescued from Laikipia, a victim of human-wildlife conflict. And that's why we rescued Mawingu. Behind Mawingu is Silaita, 3 years old, the oldest, the main matriarch, the mother figure, rescued from Samburu after she had been separated from her family by human beings, and so she's a victim of human-wildlife conflict. Standing inside the water hole is Weka, getting out now is Weka, 2.5 years. rescued from Sava Conservation Area, another starvation victim due to drought. And for your information, Weka also doubles to be the naughtiest elephant around. Far end on my left is Kitty, almost 3 years old, rescued from Kitty's camp, which is found in Samburu, a starvation victim due to drought. Immediate on my left is Mukutan, 3 years old, rescued from Laikipia, found on a private farm in a maize plantation without the rest of the family members, believed to have been separated from his family by human beings, and so victim of human-wildlife conflict. At the edge of the waterhole is Mashuru, 3 years old, rescued from Amboseli ecosystem after she had been separated from her family by human beings. Getting water from the water trough at the far end is Loldaika, 3 years old, rescued from Loldaika Conservancy, which is found in Laikipia, another victim of human-wildlife conflict. We do have a Sholomai running around. A Sholomai is 3 years old. Sholomai was rescued from Laikipia, found collapsed on the ground on a private farm near Dogo Ranges, thin and weak and skinny, very much dehydrated and emaciated, having starved for a very long time. That's why we rescued her. So that makes a total of 21 elephants that have come before, all under our care for the past 3 years. At any time between the age of 3 and 4, that is when we take them to Savo East National Park and Kibwezi Forest, a process that will take them about 5 years or more before they fully get invited and adapted in a herd of wild elephants of their choices. And when that happens, we let them go. Generally, elephants will live as long as we do. In approximately 60 to 70 years is the lifespan. The lifespan of an elephant depends on the nature of their teeth. An elephant has got 6 sets of teeth, and every set will last for about 10 years. That's why any time between the age of 60 and 70, all the teeth are worn out, will die from starvation, which is a natural death. Elephants attain maturity while at the age of between 10 to 15 years, starting with the females. The gestation period of an elephant is approximately 2 years, exactly 22 to 24 months. And always stay in groups and families under the leadership of the oldest female, who by natural instinct automatically become the leader or the matriarch of the group. The boys will leave the families after maturity, which is about 15 years, while the females will stay together for most part of their lives. Generally, elephants are very clever and very intelligent animals. They also do have a perfect memory, which means they will remember everything that happens in their lives. And that is why they say laugh and also if they want to. It is fun for them to just enjoy playing and rolling in the mud under the dust. But part of the mud stuck on the body protects them from being bitten by some insects and from direct sunshine. Lastly, you might be interested in finding out how the project is being funded. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust does not have any special funding. We entirely rely on donations from all the well-wishers and people who come in to visit, and that is why we would kindly invite anyone who would like to support. It is adopting an elephant, which is costing a minimum fee of $50 a year. Once you pay this fee, you will have helped to save the life of an elephant that would have died back into the wild. Once you pay this fee, you will give you a certificate in the name of the elephant that you will have adopted. You also get a special watercolor painting, which is done by Angela Sheldrick. You also get a picture and profile of your elephant, including a newsletter. Then you fill in a form, giving us your details plus your address. And then every month, let you know how your elephant is doing, plus all the others that we've got in the nursery. If you adopt an elephant only at $50 a year, we also get you the Keeper's Diary, which is written every day by different keepers, telling different stories from different orphans. And all that will be brought to you on a monthly basis online. You can adopt an elephant for yourself, or you can do it as a gift to a friend. If you do it as a gift, it is a gift recipient that will receive the updates every month. But if you do it for yourself, it's you that will receive the update
Just
from
turn
you.
around so they can
We'll
see.
let you know, so that you can decide if you want to renew it again or not. So that is why it is important that after you've seen all the babies that have come before you, you make a choice of which one that you want to have support. And on your way out, we do have the forms for you to fill in. So then you can get a certificate in the movie Elephant and walk back home, a very lucky parent for baby elephant. This will also ensure that the project continues to save more. It would have died because something wrong has happened to the mothers. And if you're not able to do this right away today, you can pick some information on the table on your way out, which is go to our website. And when you go back at home, you can go on the website, see all the elephants we do have, and still help support the project by adopting an elephant online. Any final questions? Any final questions?
Formula. You need a
Yes.
factory just for this.
Every 3 hours, day and night. One elephant takes about 24 liters of milk in a day. They do what we call play fights. Yes. Can all be returned to the wild, and what happens to the ones who cannot? They all go back into the wild. We've never had a case of an elephant staying with us forever, but sometimes some of them take a longer period before they get accepted compared to others. The minimum period they take is 5 years before they get accepted. The longest period one has taken was 8 years before being accepted, but they've all gone back into the wild. Yes, we do have 3 units without keepers who will monitor them until the time they decide not to come back at these units. That's when we know that they've been accepted. Yes. How do we lead? How do we lead them? Elephants are very smart, very intelligent animals. When they come here, we give them names according to the place we found them. After some time, they get to understand the names, and when you call the names, they listen, they know, and they decide if they want to come to you or not. So when the keepers call them, they follow them. And that's how we do things. Yes. How do the elephants? How do the elephants poop? Yes.
Legs in the package.
When we rescue them?
Slide in on us.
Yes.
What?
How do we take them from the park? Integrate them into the park. When we rescue them, we don't take them where we found them. We always reintroduce them to Savo regardless of where we found them. It is in this park, into this group. When a new one comes in, we keep them separate because they're still new, and if they're still strong, they're still wild. And so we keep them separate, feed them separately until the time they accept the human mothers before we let them join the rest. Why Savo? Because it is the biggest park in the country. It has got lots of other wild elephants. And that's why Savo. We have a capacity because we cannot turn away one that is an orphan. The highest number we've ever had at one time was 38. If we get more than that, we shall be forced to create more space for them.
You say this is a real treat to see them in the water. You see, it's so different from last time.
3 years is the oldest.
This is a great thing.
Tusks will start to develop or grow when an elephant is 1 year old. They protrude outside when they approach the age of 2 years. The tusks will continue to grow until when the elephants stop to grow. Elephants attain maturity between 10 to 15 years. They are fully grown at the age of between 20 and 30, just like human beings. And that's when the tusks will stop to grow. There is no special training out there for the keepers because this is a unique job. You only have to train while on job. Come again? Go on to interfere with the natural life. We follow them physically before they join the wild herds. Once they join the wild herds, we let them stay as much natural as possible. So if there are no more patients, the elephants are left with a few minutes. Yes. How do we tell the difference between the elephants? Well, the elephants are different. They might look the same to you because you're seeing them for the first time. We can tell them from character, from body shape, from texture of their skin. Very few have got little marks on them. But most important is from seeing the same thing every day. It makes it easier to tell them from a glance.
مرة بالسريع. مرة بالسريع. Yeah.
Yeah. Não que preciso pagar nem. Get something right here. Excuse me, can I just get right where you are to get a picture first? Sorry. Look, Ellie's coming.
Finished even whenever you open the account.
Muddy. Yeah.
Hello, monkey. That monkey.
Yeah, that's Ellie's mama.
Hello.
Is Amaya going to take Ellie's mama? Look, hi. Hi. Say hi. Look, say hi. Say hi.
Who knows much?
Is that good? Yes, yes. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's selfie. Let's take a selfie.
Yeah, Molly, you can take us over there.
Let me get. Oh, that was a selfie. Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean.